everybody, Russ from My Hammers 11. Hope you're all safe and well. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hitting the bell icon so you know every time we put new content on. As always, like to thank our lovely channel sponsors, Untuck It. Check them out in the description below. Today's guest, not to put any pressure on you, Terry, but you come highly regarded, highly recommended by a friend of the channel, Brian Deere, by Stag himself. So how are we, Terry?
Yeah, I'm fine. Bit nervous, but apart from that, I'm fine.
Oh, what I mean nerves about. We also about West Ham. It's an easy subject. How are you, my friend? How have you been?
Not so bad, but a bit bored now after all this
Yeah.
time, with this lockdown.
I know.
I've had my first jab, and I'm waiting
too.
for my second one, which is the 1st of April. So.
Oh, okay. Very good. Yeah, I've had my first one. I had my one a few weeks ago. So yeah, I don't know when my second one is, but I think it's May sometime. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's a bit boring now, isn't it? It's like, well, I mean, when Boris put his roadmap out, everyone's like, "Oh, it's brilliant! Oh, okay, we can see what's going to happen." But actually, it's not until June when it when it all sort of finalises till we get to the end. So you still got all this time coming through. But oh well, we'll get there eventually, won't we, Terry?
Well, it'd be nice to be able to go up the pub and have a drink.
Oh,
I've never drunk so much booze indoors in my life.
And I mean, it's always 11 o'clock somewhere in the world, isn't it? So you're okay. But I mean, yeah, you've only got a few weeks, and then you can go outside for a beer in the beer gardens, 12th of April, isn't it, or something like that?
Yeah,
So,
I think it's about the 12th. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. And West Ham are keeping us entertained, there, Terry, aren't they?
Fantastic. We've got a very, very good squad. I'm very pleased with the squad that we've got. He's bought wisely, Moyes. I mean, Moyes should never have got in the first place, but there you are. But he's done ever so well. He's bought wisely, and it's exciting. I mean, we're fifth.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy, isn't
it? There's 9 games to go, I believe. So we've got a good chance of staying in round about there.
Yeah, I think that I mean. Bloody hell, if you right at the beginning of the season, if someone said to you we'd finish 5th and we'd be disappointed we haven't beaten Man United at Old Trafford, or we drew 3-3 with Arsenal in the last 2 games, you'd have taken to the loony bin, wouldn't you, really?
I think we're still moaning, mind you.
Of course we will.
Of course we will.
Yeah, I know. I do these little shows on lunchtimes, and I have these characters. So I have like optimistic Oggy, I've got cheerful Craig, and my new one is perspective Pete, good old Pete Butler. And so it's about putting things back into perspective, and it's and I think that's what happened last time, really, under Pellegrini, wasn't it? We sort of thought we were.
Don't mention the name, please. He ruined us.
Yeah, he did. He really did. And I think that was the trouble. We tried to jump before we could run. And this, but what I like about this team now is, and I mean, no disrespect, Terry, but I haven't been supporting West Ham half as long as you. But it seems the first time I can remember for a long time, there's like a project being built. Do you know what I mean? It seems that Moyes is building something rather than just season to season. Do you know what I mean?
I think he's got good ideas. And I think he's got West Ham at heart, to be honest with you. The players like him. Yeah. Which is that's the main thing. They like him.
Yeah.
And he's going in the right direction.
Yeah, he is. And as you said, the signings he's bringing in the right players. Not just that, the backroom staff as well. It's looking good. It's looking good. And, wherever we finish this season will be, be a fantastic season for us. And then, start again in August and hopefully have 60,000 people at the stadium. Hopefully, if everything works in Boris's roadmap, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It would be lovely. I think someone said that we're going to be out going to the stadium the last game of the season. I don't know if it's the last or the last 2.
Yeah, the last game of the season. Because I think based on the roadmap, I think it's May the 21st. I want to say is the day that is going to be sort of the last, they can have like in-house events, outdoor events and things like that to a capacity. And I think, so it puts us just before the Southampton game. 10,000, I think, will be in there hopefully for the Southampton game, which would be brilliant.
Only 10,000?
Yeah, I think it's only 10,000. I think so, but things change every day, doesn't it, to be honest? So, and I think the first full game with everyone will be, I believe it's the England Czech Republic game in June the 20 something at Wembley.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I don't. It could change tomorrow. In it at the moment, you know how
I know.
everything changes. I don't watch the news anymore. I've zoned out for it for the last 9 months. I think the news at the moment. I just find it so depressing. You know, apart from obviously the sport with West Ham, and that's it. But no, it's all good. It's all good. So Terry, you know, one of the questions I always ask everyone is why West Ham. Now, before we started, you said West Ham is your favourite club, and that was obviously very fortunate to have you on a West Ham channel. But why is West Ham? Why do you support West Ham? What's your story, Terry?
Well, basically, I've been supporting West Ham since I was 10, and now I'm 80 in June.
Wow.
So I've been a supporter for all them years, many years. And I've been abroad. I went to Russia, to Tbilisi, Holland.
Wow.
So, and all over England, watching West Ham and some of the important games when I was at Sheffield Wednesday when we beat Man United 3-1 in the FA Cup. And it rained non-stop all day. That's one. I drove to Breda, Holland, to watch West Ham play there. And we flew to Tbilisi, and it was the thick snow was unbelievable. But I've got lots of stories I could tell you. I've been fortunate enough that the players over the years have all been friends of mine. My good friend was Bobby Moore. I was partners with Frank Lampard when we had the pubs and the clubs.
Oh wow!
Harry's a friend of mine, but they're all been friends of mine. I mean, I could name it's the list as long as your arm and further.
Yeah,
but it's good because I was introduced by Bobby to celebrities away from football, i.e., like people like Jimmy Tarbuck, Kenny Lynch, Gene Barry, who was on the American television. So it's been good for me.
Yeah, amazing.
And as I said, I've got a million stories I could tell you. People keep asking me to write a book, which I've not thought of that one yet. But they keep saying, right, you must write your book.
Yeah.
So
you thought I thought in sort of a COVID world, you haven't got nothing else to do, Terry. You might as well start penning some memoirs. It sounds like it'd be an absolute hoot of a book, to be honest.
Well, it'd even be a film. I was in the Bobby Moore film in Bobby. They interviewed me on that.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'd sell many, but
it's good for you. I mean, as I say, that's why we started doing this whole channel, really, for that exact reason, because there's people like yourselves and anyone, younger fans, more experienced fans, and they've all got memories, all got stories, and it's a way of categorizing and recording those memories for prosperity. I mean, as I said, we had Stag on a few weeks ago, and some of the stories he said about the training and just how they run around Chadwell Heath and Epping Forest and all day, and then they come back for a roast dinner and stuff like that.
There was only one winner there, Billy Bonds.
Yeah,
he used to leave them standing and then go back and help them up the hills. But I've got to tell you one story. What Brian Deere, he said to me, you must mention it.
Yeah.
Bobby said to me one day, Bobby Moore said, right, we'll come down the boat in. He said, we'll do some training because I wanted to keep a little bit fit, putting on weight, So all the players are there on the Sunday morning and I've stripped off and me and Bobby have gone running around the pitch and then we've done a little bit of training. So afterwards, I'm going to get in the bath and John Cushley, the West Ham centre-half at the time, Scotchman, broad Scotch accent, he kept saying, tell it, quick, it's the boss. Because obviously I was an intruder, really.
Yeah.
So I kept running out to the toilet to hide. In the end, I got the up with that anyway. Lo and behold, I'm laying in the bath, covered up to my chin with suds and washing myself. And who happens to walk in? Never, ever, ever been to West Ham on a Sunday. Ron Greenwood.
Oh, no.
Now, Ron Greenwood knew me because I've been to all the games away, and I'm on the train, you know, on the buffet car with them.
Sure.
And also, he signed my young brother, God rest his soul, who got killed, who played for West Ham with Kirbishley, Alvin Martin, Paul Brush, Devonshire, etc., etc. So he went to Bobby, "What's he doing in here?" So Bobby said, "Well, he's been training with us." But all the lads, they was all giggling and laughing, and then he walked out. But it was a funny situation, you know, that could go in the book.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. The time when he turned up on a Sunday, typical, isn't it? It's
Never,
always the way, isn't it?
They couldn't believe it. That one day he went there.
Oh, but it always happens, isn't it? It's sod's law, isn't it? The law of the sod.
Right.
Yeah, it always happens. And I mean, yeah, as you said, you know, obviously, fortunate enough to be friends with, you know, your idols as well, really. You know, I mean, you know, you used to watch them, you know, as I said, you're a West Ham fan, and then watching these idols and then being friends with them, it must have been weird to start off with, and then it sort of becomes just normality. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, my sons used to go to school once in Snaresbrook Forest School.
Yeah. And
because obviously they knew that I knew some of the players, we used to play against the 15, 16-year-olds, you know.
Yeah.
And people like, I mean, Trevor, Graham Padden, Frank Lampard. We had a good little team. And I used to, you know, it was lovely. And that wasn't the only one. We used to play at the Swedish ground along the A13.
Yeah.
We used on a other weekend. We used to get a little get together, and it was good, you know. And then we'd have a couple of jars afterwards. Went down well.
Fantastic.
You know, that's it. So I have been lucky.
Yeah.
A lot of people would have had to cut their right arm off to have done what I've done.
Totally, Terry. No, exactly. It's one of those things that, I mean, you know, as I said, we've been doing this channel since like the first lockdown, and I've been very fortunate enough to have a lot of, you know, to have Harry on, to have, you know, Julian, or a lot of my idols as well in sort of the more modern era. No disrespect to the more modern era, and yeah, it's a very fortunate position, and you know, and some of them have become friends. Really, I mean, they're all cracking blokes, all of them. Doesn't matter who you are. Anyone who seems to have interviewed who's played for West Ham has been a lovely person and has given their time and stuff. And it's just, and I mean, particularly with, you know, when we spoke to Stag, you know, obviously he was very fortunate, obviously, to play with Bobby and stuff, and obviously you were very fortunate to be friends with Bobby. We've had Matt Lorenzo on to talk about obviously the documentary and stuff, and you know, unfortunately, every day is less.
Done the documentary with me.
Oh yeah, we've had Matt on.
Oh,
we've had Matt on. Yeah, he's a top bloke. Yeah, and I mean, there's, you know, unfortunately, obviously, every day less and less people, you know, have met Bobby Moore every day. Unfortunately, less and less people.
He's a lovely man, a gentleman, an absolute gentleman, a very, very good friend of mine. And along the way, I mean, I could go into a list. Well, as I said, I mean, when you said about good players, I mean, there's some that I'm going to leave out, but because I can't put them in really. But Frankie van der Elst, what a player he was. And some of the players that I'm going to leave out, I'd like to be able to put them in, but it's only 11, so.
You can do a lot of people get away with it by saying honourable mentions. So they'll say, "Oh, okay, in goal, honourable mentions." So you've sort of mentioned everyone you want to mention, and then you go in goal, Roberto.
Russ, I had a list, my 11, and along the way, I've been crossing out some and putting new ones back in, and thinking, I've got to put him in. And
it's great fun, isn't it? It's great fun. It is great fun. And I think now even more so because there's nothing to do at the moment. It takes you away for, you know, takes you back to the old days and I forgot about him and that's why I love doing it. We've probably had about 270 people, I reckon, we've interviewed, maybe a few less, a few more, and we've probably had close to about 230, 240 players. So it's not always the same because we interview people from different generations as well. I mean, I wasn't fortunate enough to see Bobby play or Trevor or Billy. I never saw them play. I saw Trevor and Billy manage, but never play. Exactly. I don't know what I missed. That's why I'm sort of reliving those memories through guys like yourselves, and I find it fascinating. Honestly, it's like Tiki talking to Stag the other day. There was players there which I hadn't heard about, and so I went back and researched them. So it's really, I find it absolutely incredible, really, really fascinating. All the different and what certain players mean to certain people as well. I mean, yeah, it's great fun. Right, well, go on, let's start because
I'm going to have phone calls to say, why didn't you put me in your team?
It's so true. We interviewed David James the other day, and we had David on, and Jamo was lovely. He's such a lovely bloke, and we were chatting, and we did his 11, and then the next day he was recording at West Ham, and a few people I know he was working with. They were talking about the interview afterwards, and he went, "I can't believe I didn't put Paolo Di Canio in."
I'll put him in.
No spoilers, Terry. No spoilers. Right, who's in goal? Who's in goal for the Terry 11?
Well, I'm going to go for Parksy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go for. Obviously, I've got to go for Frank because I was his partner. Lampard.
Yeah. All right, let's put. Talk to me about Parksy.
Oh, a gentleman, thorough gentleman.
Yeah.
He wouldn't know how to upset anybody. And a good goalkeeper.
Yeah, and and he turned 70 in the summer, wasn't it, last year?
Well, he wasn't well a couple of years ago, Russ,
yeah.
But thank God he's got over it, you know.
Yeah, no, exactly. We've had Marie on, we've had his daughter on, and we're going to get him on. He's going to come on once everything's come. I've been promised to go to his. He's got a lovely bar, isn't he, in his house?
So well, he was a carpenter, so he was fortunate enough to be able to build it himself.
Exactly. I'm crap at things like that, honestly. If you want anything internet, anything electronic, no problem. You want me to put a chair together or anything?
I've got some work for you, by the way, then, Russ. I'll be ringing you.
Well, I know. Well, available in Hornchurch, anywhere in the Hornchurch area. But yeah, anything like if you want me to put a table up or a chair, it will break in about a week. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I don't get it.
I'm the same as you.
Honestly, I don't understand why it's always one hole just doesn't fit properly. And isn't it? And then my wife's always like, "Oh, you got some spare bits then?" It doesn't come with spare bits. Well, this one did. I proved it. But anyway, all right. So Phil Parks, absolute legend. Right. Okay. So we'll put him in, and then we'll put obviously Frank Senior at the left. Now, Frank Senior, we did a special night for him the other day, like an appreciation night, because I think doing this show, it's clear that he played so many games for the club and he gave so much to the club. Winning FA Cup medals and things like that. He just doesn't get the recognition he deserves, in my opinion.
Well, I know what you say, but he's hard work, though.
Yeah.
Even though he's my good mate. I mean, he's a bit unreliable. You can't pin him down.
That's all footballers are like that, to be honest. I've learned to live like that.
No. I'll tell you what, Ray Stewart, who's my next man.
Yeah.
He's forever ringing me up, and he's there when you need him. I mean, he's a good lad, Ray. Well,
yeah, no, he's a top bloke. He's a top bloke.
Yeah,
I like
thoughtful.
Ray.
That's the word, thoughtful, Russ.
Yes, yeah, no, exactly. I mean, he didn't have to. Obviously, I said to him if he fancied coming on, and that was just the beginning of the cut of everything. And he doesn't like doing these things. He likes doing it face to face. And to be fair, Ray, he phoned me to say, "Look, Russ, I'm not ignoring you, but I don't like doing face to face. I want to do it face to face when we get back at London Stadium." Yeah, no problem at all. And then we started talking about West Ham for 2 hours afterwards. Just didn't know me from Adam really, and started talking about West Ham and stuff. And then obviously he went, "Oh, actually, Russ, I've got to go now because the tea bags are just dried on the line. I've got to bring them, typical Ray Stewart line." But yeah, top man, Tonka, absolute top man. I think it's a fantastic guy, and they all are. That era, I just think, are just amazing. Right, okay, so we'll put Parksy in, we'll put Lampard in, we'll put Ray Stewart in. Centre halves. I could probably guess your first centre half.
Well, these might not be in the order that they should be in, but I'll go Right. You're going to go centre half. I've put Bobby Moore.
Yeah. Well, that's what I thought. I thought more definitely
what can I
going.
say about him? And then alongside him, say Billy Bonds.
Oh, nice.
Must
See,
have Bonzo there.
yeah, that's what I mean. You've as I said, that fortunate enough to see, people like Bill play, people like Moro play, and obviously we had, they had the stand named after him last season, old Bill. Yeah, no, I just think
Another gentleman.
Yes.
Absolute gentleman. And nothing, you couldn't say a bad word about him.
No.
No one. And then, Runs, what I'm going to do, I've not put all these in but I'm going to put Dev.
Dev's in.
Yeah, Dev. And then I'm going to put Trevor in.
Yeah, no problem. Right, tell me about.
He's a genius.
Yeah, exactly. You can't leave Brooking out. Tell me about Dev.
Oh, another lovely fella.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. I mean, I remember when he first come to West Ham, he was playing in non-league. He used to work at Hoover's on the Western Avenue. Forklift driver. And when he come to West Ham, I mean, within no time at all, he's playing in the first team.
Mental, innit?
Bob Frank used to say to me, just give the ball to Dev and you're out of trouble. Off he'd go on a dribble. He was something. And when he had them 200 stitches in his knee, unbelievable. He came back, but obviously he wasn't the same player, but he was a very, very good player.
Yeah. I think
we bought him for nothing.
I know, $5,000, weren't it? Absolutely. Yeah. You can't get a second-hand Fiesta for that now, can you, really? And I think with Dev as well, and I said it before, when people pick Dev, it's the difference between the modern game and I think the game back then, so to speak, in that he sort of reinvented himself as a footballer, wasn't he? So he was obviously the speedster. I've seen him tearing down the wing, then he got injured and became more of a tricky winger, in terms of he completely changed his game. People don't do that nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to, but now you look at someone like I always look at someone like Michael Owen. When Michael Owen did his hamstring, that was it. He was basically a pace merchant, and it went, and he couldn't reinvent himself. He wasn't, where Dev took it upon himself to actually completely transform himself as a player. And I mean, you've got one up on Alan as well, to be honest, Terry, because you've managed to set yourself up with this Zoom thing straight away. You know what I mean? I had Dev's wife on the phone. I had Dev on the phone. It was just, so fair play. But no, he's a top man. And obviously Sir Trev.
Another gentleman.
Yeah.
Could he play? He should drop that shoulder and send three. I remember we played Chelsea one day and the goalkeeper, Baroda, I think it was, he put 2 goals past him and the goalkeeper was applauding him before the ball hit the net. He was he was special. He had so much talent.
Yeah.
And when people talk about him, and I can't mention these other players from other clubs, but he was my favourite, Trevor.
Yeah. And I mean, and also I think you look at someone like Trevor and you look at someone like Dev. And again, something which I think I've picked up a lot more interviewing more experienced fans is, I mean, looking at a lot more of old football footage and stuff like that, obviously the state of the pitches and stuff compared to the bowling greens now, and you see that some of the guile and skill that these guys were exercising on those sand pits, literally sand
especially
banks,
with them big boots.
Yeah, and the ball, exactly. It's incredible, absolutely incredible.
They're in ballet shoes now.
Yeah, ballet shoes and bowling greens, isn't it? And it's like, I'd love to. Like when they do those computer generated things. I could imagine. I'd love to have Devonshire and Brooklyn in their pomp on London Stadium bowling green, just to see what they could do, and vice versa. I'd like to see Messi on that Stamford Bridge pitch when we beat them 4-0, in '86, that sandbank. I'd love to see Messi see what he could do with that pitch, and Ronaldo, and they'd have a heart attack, bless them. But
they probably wouldn't play. They'd be complaining.
Yeah, be complaining.
Right.
Yeah, there's something wrong with the pitch. It's got his yellow stuff on that's on the beach. Sand. Yes, it's sand, Mr. Messi. Right, so we'll put Dev, we'll put Brookie. Who's your next one then, Terry?
Right, and you wouldn't have seen this chap, but he was a very good player. Scored a lot of goals for us. Pop Robson.
Yes, I know Pop.
another nice gentleman.
Top bloke.
Scored some good goals. Good golfer.
Hasn't been well recently, old Pop, I believe. So yeah, I think
he used to live opposite me in Woodford Green.
Oh, did he?
Twice he lived there. And his wife Maureen, she was a table tennis champion, and his father-in-law Len Heckle used to coach because he was he used to coach the England team.
Yeah,
because he could with his stance. He used to teach them how to walk and all that sort of thing.
Amazing.
So you know,
amazing. Obviously, yeah, because Pop left and came back, and when he left, we won something, didn't he?
Yeah. Then I think he went on then to be a coach at Man United.
Possibly. My friend's a big Sunderland fan, and obviously he's a god up there at Sunderland. So, but yeah, and obviously we've interviewed people like TC and Crossy, and they talk about the influence that Pop Robson had on them as a player. You know, they looked up to him, and so. We're going to do it like we did an evening about Frank Lampard Senior. We're probably going to do one about Pop as well, because again, it's the type of player that I think a certain generation will know loads about, but I didn't know bugger all about Pop Robson until I started looking into him. And I think he's a really important player for sort of West Ham, based on people like TC and Crossy and stuff like that. So
I had Crossy, Russ, he's one that I crossed out, and I had to put in Jeff Hurst.
Oh. Well, I'm sure old Psycho wouldn't be too fussed about that one, to be honest. But yeah, he's brilliant. I love Crossy. He's so funny.
He's a nice fella.
He's a top bloke, top guy, and he is. We had a funny time when we were being interviewed, because my wife didn't realise. He calls me. I'm down on his phone apparently now as Raspberry Sauce Russ, because. Because it was like last summer I was interviewing him. My wife walked in with a 99 from the the ice cream man who went past, and he always said you should have had some raspberry sauce in that, Russ. So I'm down as Raspberry Russ. But yeah, no, and Sir Jeff. I mean, Sir Jeff. So it's a fair replacement. Psycho for Sir Jeff. What a fantastic player he was.
Oh, blimey! Ron Greenwood shaped him, taught him the near post header.
Yeah,
as they say. But getting back to Crossy, just a quickie.
Yeah,
I believe his daughter, she played cricket for England.
She does. Yeah. Incredible, isn't it? So, it's incredible how sort of sporting lineage happens quite a lot, doesn't it? There's a lot of player. Obviously, was it the Nevilles? So I think Gary and Phil, and then there was Neville, and the sister was netball, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And there's loads of people like that. Yeah, but Crossy's daughter is international cricketer for England. Fair play. Oh dear. Right. Okay. So we'll put Sir Jeff in. We've got two Lords of the Realms. I've just seen Sir Jeff and Sir Trevor. Should have been Sir Bobby as well. But that could be sometime down the line. But anyway, Sir Jeff. Yeah, as he said, phenomenal player. So many goals for the club. I didn't realise how many goals until you sort of start looking into his West Ham career and just in general how many goals he's scored. And phenomenal.
Well, him and Martin was formidable. They was a deadly duo. Him and Martin Peters.
Yeah, they really Martin. Were.
But we'll get on to the next one for you.
Go on.
You won't know this chap.
Okay.
He could play. Budgie Byrne.
Budgie Byrne. I've heard about Budgie Byrne.
What a player he was.
Yeah.
Centre forward. He wasn't big, but could he play?
Fantastic player. Who put Budgie in? I can't remember someone Would it have been Harry? Did Harry put Budgie in?
Harry might have put him in.
Yeah, it might have been Harry, yeah. But Budgie, yeah. I mean, it's like it's quite cathartic interviewing people, because you go through it and find out about all these players and this history. And I think I've seen a lot of players in my time, and then you go back even further, and people like Budgie Byrne, again, like him. I know of them now. I feel like I'm part of the. I know about these players now. But yeah, phenomenal player Budgie Byrne was.
Absolutely
brilliant player.
Russ, the last but not least, is Paolo. Could he play?
Oh, what a player! What a player!
Yeah.
He was one of the, I mean, he obviously, he's like obviously in my era, so to speak now, so I can speak. But he, West Ham fans love one of those like maverick players, don't we? We love a maverick, and he was a maverick, and he was Italian, and he was passionate, and he was crazy, and he was everything that a West Ham player should be. Just on that edge of craziness and absolute geniusness. Exactly, total
Harry
genius.
said to me, Russ. Harry said to me, Till, and I thought you're mad because he pushed the referee over. I'm signing Paolo Di Canio. And I went, oh, yeah, all right. And he turned out, well, he was something special. I mean, the things he did with the ball in this tight space, can't believe it.
Yeah. I think with Paolo, I think there's always, I really think it was one of those, sometimes where a club and a player just works. Sometimes it just works, and Paolo and West Ham as together as two halves worked. If it weren't for West Ham, I don't think Paolo Di Canio would have had the career that he had, and be remembered in the Premier League in the same realm as Bergkamp and Zola and things like that, because he wasn't going to do that at Sheffield Wednesday, in my opinion.
We resurrected his career, Russ.
Exactly. He was dead and buried, and then he came to West Ham and then became a Premier League great. People do mention him in the same bracket as Zola and Henry and Bergkamp and Di Canio. He's, it sort of rolls off the tongue, and he knows that.
Ask Trevor Sinclair about him.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, we've had Trev on. I love Trev. Top dude. I think when we had Harry, I asked him how did you manage Paolo? He went, I didn't. You can't manage someone like that. You just gotta go and play for it.
He's a sulk. I'm not going to.
He did.
And sit on the ball. I'm not going on.
I know.
Harry told me the stories.
But that's why I like. But that's, I think, that's at the end of the day, we go to football, we watch football to be entertained. Do you know what I mean? And so he had that entertainment value, not necessarily with a football, but just his personality as well. It was like and that time where you had people like Razor, you had, Ian Wright, you had a really sort of hodgepodge of characters. It was entertaining. It was a really exciting time, really fun time, I think, to be a West Ham fan around that time, that period.
Harry loved bringing on a character, didn't he?
That was his thing, wasn't it?
That's why he bought Boogers.
Yeah. Do you know what? I had the pinnacle of my YouTube career now when I got turned down for an interview by Marco Boogers last week. He doesn't do no more interviews about his time at West Ham. I was well disappointed. I'd love to have Boogers on, but Harry paired Marco Boogers with Martin Allen. That was his roommate.
Oh, another win double.
That was asking for trouble, wasn't
it? yeah, Martin. He's all right.
Oh, I like Martin. He's as
I speak to him from time to time.
Oh, he's lovely, Martin. Yeah, they're all. I mean, they all are. I mean, like I said, we've been very fortunate. We've had, I reckon, we probably had over 60 ex players on the channel, all from Stag all the way, through to Pikey, through to Tom McAllister, and then Kevin Keane and Martin Allen and Macca and Cotty and Sinclair and everyone, and they've all been brilliant. Johnny Monks, Razor, we've had them all. They've all been on here, and there's still more to come. No, it's all good fun.
Give them my regards.
Oh, I will do, Terry. I always do, man. I'll always give them your regards. Now I'll pass them on now. Look at that team. Look at that team, Terry. God.
Well, you like that?
Oh, top four. It's got to be.
Bad, is it?
I've said it. I'll say it again. It'll be first on Match of the Day, Terry. That's all I'm saying. Not always good times with Paolo, and in a VAR world, how many games will I think Bonza might play a few less games in a VAR world now, unfortunately. But
don't talk to me about that VAR. Bloody, I'm not very happy with that.
No, you're not a VAR fan, Terry.
Not really. No. Are you?
In principle, I am. I think at the moment, this season hasn't been too bad because we haven't had fans in the stadium. it does ruin it a little bit. I think in terms of the goals scored, you can't really celebrate until they kick off. Because it's like you got to wait, so because they've got to have a VAR check, and then as soon as they kick off, then it's been checked, so it's okay. So yeah, it's a bit weird, but you think in today's modern world with so much, I mean, I like the way the rugby do it. The rugby do it well, I think.
Rugby's fantastic. Then they don't argue with the referee.
No.
I mean, what he says goes.
But you hear the ref. You hear the ref. You say to you hear the ref talking to the fourth official, saying, "Okay, this is what I think. This and this and this and this," and you hear that conversation, and that's what I think needs to happen. It will never happen because football's such a passionate game that the fans would be in uproar if they heard the referee saying something already to their player, and So it's a shame because I think that it could work, but it's just, yeah, I don't know.
When you think of the way they go into a tackle. And the way in football, they've only got to brush you, and it's a foul, and you get booked. I mean, there was one the other day. What I see, they got a penalty. The opposing side, they got a penalty. Should never have been a penalty. And I'll tell you the game. It was a Spurs game. Yeah. Harry Kane got a penalty.
Oh
I don't think because the ball had gone out of play. But anyway, we get away from that.
We always do. We do always digress on these things, Terry. But it's because it's important, isn't it? And I think we've actually been a bit lucky. I think this season, West Ham. Some of our VAR decisions and stuff like that. I think we've been a bit more. Last year, it seemed to be all against us. Every result, every decision was against us. But I think you make your own luck at the moment. I think because we're playing well. You get the rub of the green. I think we've had the rub of the green a bit more than we usually do.
I do understand what you're saying, but there's one the other night I didn't like when our man was away and he blew up for. He pulled him back. We had the advantage.
Yeah.
Not mentioning no names, Russ.
Yeah.
But you know which one I mean, don't you?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
He was away.
Yeah. Well, I think if we
you give the team the advantage, and that's what you should have done.
True, and I mean Sunday itself. Obviously that game. The referee was Arsenal's best player. I thought he was brilliant. He was a fantastic player for Arsenal. The ref was, and that's still. I mean, the idea of VAR is to sort of eradicate that need for the referee to be the central. To be the central villain, but he was, and that's what I didn't understand. It's like yeah, it's frustrating at times. It is frustrating, and that's the thing with the fans. I know there's been a bit of criticism, our season and various other seasons. Is it because we've got no fans in the stadium or whatever? I think on Sunday, if we had fans in the stadium when we were going sort of 3-1, then it went 3-2. Then I think the fans would have helped us and would have probably pushed us forward. And I don't think we'd have actually lost the game. We didn't lose, we draw. But I didn't think we'd have won the game if we had the fans in the stadium, because I think that would have jeered the players on. We could have won 4, 5, 6 goals.
I mean, really, I fancied that we would score a goal in the second half.
Me too. Yeah.
But what I think we did, Russ, to be honest with you, I think that we went 3-0 up too early.
Yeah.
And we stuck back on our laurels. If we hadn't, you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, totally. I totally agree.
Relaxed. And that was our downfall.
It's true. It is true. I think also, when we're saying about, about sort of changing mentality, I think, we're still, I've likened it to we're as if we were a cricketer. We're at West Ham. We're batting above our average at the moment. We're batting well above our average where we should be in the batting order, so to speak, in the Premier League. And I think there's still that mentality in our. I think we almost shocked ourselves. We were 3-0 up on Sunday.
It shocked everyone. Shocked me. Because I fancied it was going to be either a 2-1 or a draw. When I was right with a draw, but I fancied us to win 2. I did fancy us to win, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because they hadn't been playing all that well, Arsenal. I've been watching them. And but anyway, let's hope we can come up with one at Wolves next week.
Yeah. Well, we've got a little bit of a gap now. The old international. I hate the international.
We can get some players back fit.
Yeah, should be.
We've got a few out that we need, like Fornals. I like him.
I think we massively. I think he's. Do you know what? He's the. And I'm going to say this. He's the modern day Jeff Pike. I've said it. He's the modern day Jeff Pike.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Works his nuts off.
Exactly. You don't know you need him until he's not there. And I think there's a reason why we haven't played well again. We didn't win at Man United or get anything at the Man United, and obviously the Sunday game at Arsenal. And I think it's because of Fornals. He literally brings this energy, which just seems to work with the whole team. And you get that when you interview like lots of players, when you interview ex players, and they pick players like Hayden Mullins or Jeff Pike or Pete Butler, and these people who just literally run around and just are the glue which holds the team together. That's what I think Fornals is for us, and hopefully he'll be back in time for Wolves. Masuaku should be back. Bonner could be back. Yarmolet. We could have a fully fit squad by the time Wolves come along.
Oh, well, I mean, we missed that Bonner. He's been outstanding.
Yeah, definitely.
But you're probably they should all be back by then.
Hopefully, yeah. We would hope so. We would hope so. God forbid. Just for the run, as you said, the last 9 games, 9 cup finals to get into Europe. That'd be nice. Nice little European trip.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be good for the lads.
Be great for the lads, wouldn't it? Yeah. It'd be a nice end to the season. A nice sort of reward for the fans as well, because we've had a few crap seasons recently. So it'd be nice to have a nice little trip somewhere.
Can I just say something, Russ?
Of course you can.
Before you go, can we have a reserve in this side?
Of course you can. You can put whoever you want to put in, my friend.
Declan Rice as my reserve.
Of course. Declan's on the bench.
Oh, what a player! What a player!
Isn't he?
He's got more to go. I mean, how about when he went on that run the other night?
Oh, why doesn't he do more of that?
I thought that was Beckenbauer for a minute.
Well, you know, people have said, the way he tracks back and tackles, it's very, very reminiscent of one of your mates. I think the way he does that sort of because no one seems to tackle in football now, like proper tackle, like a sliding tackle.
Well, they're frightened.
Declan Rice. They're frightened.
That's not like rugby. I mean, rugby, what they get away with in rugby, they get away with punches and biting the ear holes and everything. But he's you're frightened to touch it because the players that they're playing against are quite clever.
Yeah.
And the minute they feel your breath on their back, they fall over.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Very true. It's very true. But it is. No, I do. I totally echo everything you say about Declan Rice. We have just scraped the surface with that boy. That's for sure.
Got to keep him.
Hopefully, as I said, a good season this season for European football. He's already in the England squad. What more does he want? What more does the lad want?
I'll tell you what I've told different people, friends of mine, players, people like, who can I say? Some reporters I talked to. And I said, look, he's the king of the castle at West Ham. If he goes to anywhere else, he'll be a bit player.
Yeah.
Man City.
Yeah.
Spurs.
Yeah.
Arsenal. Man United. They don't get a full game.
No.
Some of them do. But, he's. We've got to keep him. We've got to give him a nice wage.
But I think you're right, and I think actually, I think everything with obviously Mark coming out and announcing his retirement and stuff, I think that gives you. We talk about Boris's roadmap. It gives Declan Rice a roadmap as well. So it knows, this season you're you're team captain, not club captain. Mark's got a season left. At the end of next season, you have the keys to the castle.
Yeah.
In it.
Yeah.
And what boy at 22 to be 22, 23 then would not want the keys to a castle?
Oh yeah, it'd be completely, yeah, you're 100% right.
Yeah. He would be the next, well, I'd like
PM.
to. Yeah. That's how I could see him, potentially the way, how many games he's played now. And for such a young age, touch wood, he doesn't pick up injuries. He doesn't get sent off.
Cool.
He seems.
You just took that words out of my mouth because.
Oh, there we go. Great minds think alike.
I mean, sometimes the way he goes into a tackle and he comes out, he came out of one the other day. I thought, oh no, I hope you're not going to be injured. And he's right as ninepence after.
I know. But I just love his enthusiasm. Do you know what I mean? When he gets his interview afterwards, and if he's won, he's just excited as we are. If he's lost, he's devastated like we are.
Yeah.
I love.
And you know what's good, Russ? He's
What's
a
that?
nice boy.
Yeah.
Down to earth, an absolute gentleman.
Yeah.
And they all love him when the media they interview him.
They do.
And they all love him.
Yeah. I think he was on when he was on Talk Sport the other day, and he was interviewing him on the breakfast show, and at the end he asked Ali McCoist how he felt about Rangers winning the league, and but he doesn't have to, even doing something like that to me means that he shows a lot of respect for the other players. Yeah. He's a proper fan, and even I know there's some, people get critical about how he always gives Mark the armband when Mark comes on. That's respect to me. That shows that the boy's got so much respect for his elders, so to speak. It means that he's been brought up well. That's the way I see it. I think he's a top boy, top boy, and he'll be our poster boy hopefully for many, many years.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping.
Right.
Well, here's hoping, Terry. Anyway, thank you, man. What was there to be nervous about? Nothing at all, Terry. 46 minutes has flown by.
The time's flown.
It does. It does. And we'll come back. We'll talk again, Terry. We'll talk again. We'll do something. I can see a series, me and Terry. I can see this. We don't need the book. We'll just talk about stories. Terry's stories. If you like it, give it a like, give it a share. And from myself and from Terry, take care, everyone. Stay safe. Wash those hands. Get your jabs like me and Terry when you get your appointments. Come on, you irons, and I'll see you again very, very soon. That's it, Tel. There we go.
Nice talking to you, Russ.
Stay on. I'm just going to stay on. I'm just going to say goodbye and we'll stay on. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.